I got a 1 minute 53 seconds and 2.86 thousandths. Yes. At what is this, Snetterton in the Honda NSX. And here's the replay. This is not the first lap replay. Hang on, how do I close this? Results. There we go. This is just a previous lap before my past lap. There's still a bit more time to be gained. I was slow in a few corners, and I still increased my time by about 2 seconds compared to my last video. I will show the setup at the end of the video, but first I wanted to show the replay. Okay. This corner is really tricky. The ride height, judging from this angle, doesn't look very high, but it's actually set to the maximum ride height. I like suspension travel. I think there might be more might be more gain in performance by maybe having it a little bit lower, but from this view angle it doesn't look that low. I may change the camera. There we go, and turn on the HUD. Here we go. Let me preset that lap actually. There we go. I'll get more into the settings at the end of the replay. So I lost some time in that corner by braking a little bit too early. A lot of wheel work. Oh, by the way, it's like 2 in the morning right now, or maybe 3 in the morning. It's the only time I have that there's a reasonable temperature outside to do sim racing. Otherwise it gets real hot in my room, and I'm really tired. And that's the lap. I saved the replay. I'm having a hard time with words right now. Turn to the garage, the setup. Okay. So as you can see, let me go back to the timetables. I was 19 laps in. Took a while. Took another half hour or so 20 times about 2 is 40 minutes or so, a little bit less than 40 minutes, to improve my time by 2 seconds. So I wouldn't want to make a whole video about improving the time on the lap. So the setup, so while I was driving many laps, I changed some settings. So I'll go through this real quick. Tires, electronics, strategy, grip, dampers, and aero. So I'll start off with the aero. I increased the front ride height by 5 millimeters, and that makes a very big change in the general performance of the car. It's a lot more stable, and what this allowed me to do was reduce the front spring rate a little bit. So there's more weight transfer or load transfer to the front wheels because the springs are softer. So the body pitches more. It pitches forward and back. So what's it called? Dive and squat. And in certain situations, particularly this one, is it helps the car perform differently in different scenarios. What does it do? It makes the different scenarios more pronounced. So when I'm with the soft rear end, as you can see, that's how all my setups are. That pronounces the squatting effect of the car, which produces push. It changes the aero balance as well, but it allows the rear end to have more grip, essentially. I don't want to get too much into detail about it. And it also changes the aero pitch so that it has more push on throttle as well. And then on the brakes, with the softer front spring, it allows the car to dive, which changes, again, the under tray pitch, which allows it to turn better. And this is my tired explanation of this setup. I changed the brake bias to 59.6. 59 was a little bit too rearward, and then 60 was a little bit too forward. It could be more fine-tuned than this. And I think that's about it. That's all I changed. Oh, the dampers. So in Baja racing, like the Baja 500 or whatever you call it, they have what's called a damper bypass, which is essentially what this is. It's like a bladder or something in the damper that bypasses the valve. And in Baja racing, they want 0 compression damping, because it creates a lot of heat, it puts a lot of force into the car, so they want the suspension to absorb all the bumps. So I've kind of applied that philosophy to this race car, as I took out all the fast bump damping, so that it's kind of like driving on a cloud. Some people don't like that feeling and want a little bit more road feedback. I think that this works better for me with the way I drive. I want the car to absorb the bumps as efficiently as possible, and then to prevent the car from bouncing around too much, I have the fast rebound up 2, which you can't quite double 0. If I had it at 1, which it was at 1 before, 2 is double 1, right? Which generally, that's kind of how dampers are tuned from factories, is they have double the compression the rebound is double the compression damping usually, and that's generally for soft damping. But with 0 fast bump damping, you can't double that. But I've just set it to 2 because at 1 it was, I don't know, it was kind of weird. I don't want it moving around too much. Anyway, I think that's that. That was a very convoluted video. I'm very tired. It's early in the morning. The sun is still not risen. And that concludes the video. Till the next one.